So, guess what I found out about? Because CDDA uses the standard, I think, either terminal font or system font. Yeah, guess what I can do? You know, that old system, Alt keys, built into Windows, I think it is. Well, look at this. Yeah. Yeah, so holding Alt and then pressing a key combination on the numpad, with the numbers, not the special characters, inputs a code for a special character that is held in, I'm not even sure, the font space somewhere. I know it's not the ASCII standard because this is not ASCII, and I'm also pretty sure it's not actually the Unicode standard either because that works differently too. I don't know a lot about the history of such things, but I do know that it's quite amusing that you can do that in this game because it uses the font, or it uses a font that supports that. But anyway, that's besides the point. Thankfully, someone enlightened me on the category select feature, so now we're not going to be hampered by that too much anymore. But most importantly, I've finally come to the conclusion that instead of being boring for this episode, we're going to start things with something interesting. And by that I mean we're going to burn down a building to attract zombies in the middle of the night, and then use that in order to kind of clean up. I also want to get into traps. I think traps would be a lot of fun. I would like to do that somewhere further away from our living area, just in case. Oh, look at what we have here, though. Yeah, I like to keep safe mode on while I'm moving through the night, for obvious reasons. That's strange. If there are still arrows here, that would indicate that I left this place in a hurry. Yeah, here we go. This is a good one. We can just quickly loot everything from out of in here, and then burning it down won't destroy anything very valuable. And of course that's the thing, the reason I usually don't burn down buildings, even though it's really useful to, is because it wastes a lot of resources in the buildings. Oh, look at that, you see the shocker zombies, they glow in the dark, so you can see them from a long way away. And so I know there's a lot of things happening up there. But what's in here? So after we're done with this, we can actually drag that back to the house and add that to our collection. Actually, have we been here before? I don't remember. Probably. Well, with all of these things lying around, probably not. Anyway, we can start now. So I'm going to just there, that should be, actually let's give it a head start. And so, oh look, already. The plan for this is to bring out melee weapon and start doing that after I get a good safe distance away. Actually, guns fire faster. And we need something to test out this thing on. I'm pretty sure this is a submachine gun. Ow. Now it's severely injured. Those things just attack so fast, it's impossible to avoid them unless you're miles away from them with a sniper rifle. There. Now back to normal. Oh, and look at this. This is another nice feature. We can hide in the dark and shoot at things in the light of the fire, since the fire attracts zombies towards it. So now I can just wait here and look, another one. There's another one. Literally just like shooting fish in a barrel, only they're zombies, not fish. I think there are some fish zombies though. No way to be entirely sure until we see one. Oh look, now it's finally starting to spread much further. Oh yeah, and part of it collapsed. And more of it collapsed. Oh, there's a skeleton. We can deal with that really quickly. Oh yeah, and the gunshots probably attracted a lot of attention too. Oh look. Look who it is. The thing we saw earlier. Yeah, doing this is seeming more and more like a really good idea. We have the advantage. Oh, there's one. I thought they all fled. Or we got all of them. And now what's going to happen? Oh, there's one. Oh, I just had a thought. Night vision goggles would be really useful for this. So actually, let's sit here, turn on safe mode, and wait for something to come into our vision. There's something. And look at how rich we're getting. Yeah, this is just unfair. Also, we have the night vision perk, so this is doubly unfair. I'm just going to buy some things from this vending machine really quickly. And by some things, I mean everything. Literally everything. And then the one next to it is empty. Oh look. Oh, and look who else it is. What about anything in the fire? It don't be in the there doesn't appear to be anything currently in the fire. Unfortunate. Another hope is that some things would absent-mindedly walk into the fire and kill themselves. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Oh, this bow has a lot more range than I thought it did. Oh look, some things are just walking right into the fire. Straight to the slaughter. And there's a dog. That's probably going to go into the fire too, if it doesn't see me out here at the edge. Or smell me, actually. Running out of arrows, actually. Going to need to make more when we get back home. And you know what else? Hold on a second. Yeah, look what we can do. I wish I knew about that feature earlier, but I also think it's cool that there are hidden features that once you find them, they make you feel like some kind of deity for just knowing about them. Almost like cheat codes, actually, in the olden days. Yes, in those times your rank as a gamer was determined by how many cheat codes you knew. Yeah, I think they're just going to destroy themselves now. Oh, we got grabbed and somewhat damaged, so I'll just take care of that really quickly. It would help if we could see further than 3 feet. Yeah, that would be really nice. But notice how little damage we're taking here. We must really be getting much more skilled. Actually, let's take a look. Marksmanship and archery are at almost half level, a half full level, and dodging doesn't seem to be very good. It's at least level 1 though. Although it wouldn't really matter considering our encumbrance. I like being a dexterity character, but I also like hoarding, and so it's kind of a conflict of interests. Being in the light for a few seconds, they saw me. I think I should be safe from their attention if I stay over here. Look at all of these carry capacity expanding items that would have been useful a long time ago but aren't anymore. Well, not entirely. I can pile them up now and then use them later for maybe crafting more advanced things. All these wristwatches are going to give us a lot of really good electronic components. When such a thing would become relevant, that is. I don't use electronics very often for some reason, although I would like to. You see, even being near the fires kills the zombies because the heat from the fire cooks them. Of course, ow. Hold on a second. Yeah, so as I was saying, once this fire is done burning out, we can use this space to build something else, some kind of other structure. Once we actually have enough skill and infrastructure ourselves to do such a thing, that is. I don't think that's going to be for a while, though. We would need, at minimum, an electronic bike with a large carry capacity basket in the back or front. It doesn't really matter if it's in the back or front, actually, which one it is. And also going to need a dedicated logging and lumber refining site somewhere, probably to the southwest. What else? Looks like we actually got all the zombies in this area since there's no more coming. Most of them probably burned, and now are hiding under the rubble. Wow, look at all these nails and wood ash and rocks. Really useful resources. This may have been a really good idea for in more ways than one. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. And also, all this rubble sitting here is going to act as a natural barrier. Well, semi-natural, I guess. That was a pretty productive night. We got all these new things from it, and got some practice with the bow and the arrows. And now we can just go home and drop all of this off before going out again. Oh, this thing is actually functional. The bicycle's engine fails to start. I'm pretty sure that's because the pedals are partially broken. And since they technically count as classifying as an engine, that would make sense if your engine is in poor condition. Well, logically it would make sense in the game world, but yeah. This way. And here it is. We can add this one to the collection so that we can scrap it later and maybe repair some of its components before using them for anything. Although that would need, I think, a welder. I think it would be a good idea to reinforce these doors as well. I think I actually said that in an earlier episode. But now we get to try this. And that will cover most of it, and then we can just do the rest with very fine control. Much easier. Now that that's taken care of, we should probably actually, now that we have so many new resources, use some of them to improve maybe our skills or equipment. I really want to get a good supply of lumber also soon. Impossible to bring all of that back without a good vehicle though. Or, well, it's not impossible, but it's impractical. Actually, we're probably going to want a few more than that on the fire. Maybe 7. Perhaps we should start... Oh, look at this. Fabrication to 9. That's 1 below the maximum. And I think with the maximum you can make a compound great bow, which is ridiculous. Not only would that be an extremely late game item, it's also... Just think about that, a bow bigger than a human, probably as tall as a house, but also a compound bow, and that's basically a ballista. Wait, yeah, ballista, not trebuchet. How can I still mix those by accident? Anyway, no, actually, instead of reading, we should look at in crafting what we can make now with our new skills. Ammo, I think, would be of interest. Oh yeah, in order to make the bodkin broadhead and other variants of metal arrow, I think I need higher level of archery than level 4, probably about between level 5 and level 7. Now we can make sharpened metal arrows, but those actually aren't very good. The metal crossbow bolts do a lot of damage and are really good, but they're also extremely heavy. So unless we are superhumanly strong, they're impractical to carry in any amount that would be good for general use. None of these arrows do as much damage as the regular wooden arrows. That's disappointing. Plastic arrows, but that requires things we don't have. And I'm also not sure how good that would actually be. I'm just going to craft a few billion of those. Wait, did I have duct tape and was I using that for the wooden arrows? Well, if I was, it's no great loss. We can always find more duct tape. But what we do need is to find more sinew. Actually, I think we were using sinew specifically. We probably need more better tailing skills to repair some of our broken clothing. That would be a priority. For later, that is. Now that's actually a pretty useful component. I'll bookmark that. We could craft a load of antennas in order... No wait, we probably already have electronics 1, so those wouldn't help. We would need to craft something like electronic fire starter, which I don't like spending so many resources training. Regarding armor, which actually includes clothing, strangely. Oh yeah, we could make a wooden cart and then push it around by hand. Although that's hardly a good solution. A steam engine. Problem with steam engine is by the time you're advanced enough to make a vehicle, you're usually more advanced than steam. You're at electronics. So I think that would be only good for very large vehicles much later on when you have resources to burn. Literally resources to burn to fuel the steam engine. It's so hard to pick from all of the things we could do. Actually, one thing I think we could spend some time doing is getting solar panels. Maybe, wait a second, I just thought of something. Can we make a welder yet? I need 3 heating elements. Let's see if we can make those. No. We would need to find those in something like an oven. And if ovens is all it takes, then we can just go find some ovens. That's not a problem. There's actually an oven right over here. And look, 3 heating elements, the exact number we need. Now the problem with makeshift welder is that it's extremely inefficient and also hard to power because it takes batteries and, well, you have a limited supply of those. Eventually it would be a good idea to set up a solar farm to recharge portable batteries and install a battery socket mod into the makeshift welder so that you can have indefinite power. Or infinite power in other words, but that would probably require more resources than it's worth right now. So instead we'll just make the welder to begin with, and then we can use that later. Probably just going to put that right there. We'll also need welding goggles, which yeah, there's some right here, actually. Now, what are these? Oh, yes, I think those might be some variant of night vision goggles we could use. So keep those 2 items next to each other in the same pile to keep track of them well. And I would actually like to test these infrared goggles. We'd need to put them on first though. Not how I expected it to work. Actually, let's go see what that is specifically. Oh, I bet they're zombies, aren't they? Oh, there they are. Oh no, they're just these squirrels. So that's for detecting life forms, I suppose. Which isn't the infrared light spectrum actually yes, what am I looking for? Words. Isn't there actually a lot of more infrared light at nighttime than normal visible light, and so it would also make it easier to see in the night? Just hypothesizing, since I had never actually used infrared goggles before. I do know about infrared cameras, however, and they tend to be able to see in the night pretty well, I think. Or so I remember. Enough about that, though. Have we done enough for today? Seems like we've done a lot of things. Probably. I should spend some more time doing some redstone. Making a lot of really good progress in a special project.